Hello, everyone. Mike Sims here with Let's Be Blunt, the new podcast that we're starting and relaunching here to talk about everything cannabis and everything hemp and everything in life as well. We got here my co-host and partner is going to be helping me out forward, and the other folks here that's all making this happen. We got Ray Terry, we got Dan Hentschke, we got Lindsay Adams, and everybody's going to be able to tell you who they are and what they do. But ultimately, we're going to have a podcast coming at you every week telling you everything there is to be told about hemp, cannabis, the history of it, the future of it, where we're at currently, and everything else. And we're doing this for information and to tell people what's out there, to get the information out and let you know what to expect with these products, what to look for, what's good, what's not, everything in between. We're just here to learn. So,
and most of you probably really anxious, have anxiety over CBD and really curious. You're curious, but you're a little apprehensive on the effects. Will it cause me to fail a drug test? Whatever, how it's going to implicate itself in your life, and you just got anxieties about it. Well, we're here to clear up some of that and tell you the truth. This is about facts. And anything we say or present here today, I highly suggest you do your own research. Don't believe a word we say. But I promise you, these three guys here, they're aficionados on the subject of cannabis. They're passionate, and that's why I'm here, because they're passionate. I love some passion, and these folks are passionate. So, take it away, guys.
We're passionate about cannabis, but yeah, it's for those that don't know, a lot of you watching this will obviously know who we are, but there's three owners here of Charlotte CBD and also Foes Incorporated, as well as the Hemp Retailers Association and Let's Be Blunt podcast and radio show. But anyway, it's us three owners. We started this about 2 years ago. We've been in business a little over a year, and we'll go around and let everybody tell you who they are, what they do. We'll start. Who wants to start? Dan, Lindsay, who wants to go first?
Oh boy,
yeah,
let's compete for it.
Dan talked first, so we'll let Dan go. Dan, you tell about who yourself, who you are, what you got.
So I'm Dan Hentschke. I'm one of the owners of Charlotte CBD with these guys. Like you said, we started the company about 1.5 years ago, and just trying to move into the cannabis space on the East Coast. It's a lot different than the West Coast for sure. A lot less legal here with just hemp instead of marijuana. So trying to make the best of what we can for now until we can get some movement on some other things.
Definitely. Yeah, Dan and I met a while back. We've known each other for quite a time, and he had somewhat of a background in the cannabis industry out west, helping with some start-out companies out there, and ultimately we wanted to try this here, and we saw an opportunity. And then Dan was kind of my connection to Lindsay as well. Lindsay and I kind of ran in the same circle of friends, knew the same people growing up, but we really didn't know.
Same high school.
Yeah, same high school. We didn't know each other that well, but ultimately we all grouped together. And Lindsay, you'll tell a little bit about yourself real quick.
I'm Lindsay.
Lindsay.
I'm one of the owners of Charlotte CBD also. I'm from Charlotte. I love cannabis, and that's why I'm here.
That's it.
Passion.
I love it. Passion. And really, it's three people that shared that passion of cannabis and all of its benefits. Of course, we enjoyed, let's be honest, we enjoyed getting high as we,
let's be blunt.
Yeah, let's be blunt. Yeah, we enjoy getting high and all that, but ultimately we saw the benefits of it and the health benefits of it, and that's where our passion came into it, because we knew we were being lied to. We knew these laws were unjust.
Yeah.
Personally, we amongst ourselves and some friends, we know people that suffered some of these unjust laws. It quickly became a passion because we realized we're not only being lied to, but people are suffering in the process. And not only are people behind bars for this, but there's people that could use the benefits of the cannabis plant and its totality. So ultimately, our passion was the same in the plant, and we all connected, whether it be serendipity, the university, or whatever, but it connected us, and we had this idea through something we heard going on at the coast, something similar. They had a hemp style store selling something like a dispensary would, but we went in and we saw a lot of areas that could be improved and made a lot better, and that's exactly what we did. So that's a quick overview of how this all got started, and fast forward, we have a store and everything now. Yeah.
I want to tell you why I'm here.
Yep.
I'm passionate about truth. And folks, we've been messed with. I'll probably use other words other than messed, but for now that'll work. We've been really lied to through the years. About 100 years now we've been lied to. Back in, just to tell you a little history, back before 1900, hemp was the #1 cash crop in the United States. It was the #1 analgesic on the planet. But then 1900 hit, greed, corruption, takeover started to take place. 1937, they put hemp, and made a Class 1 narcotic, Schedule 1 narcotic out of hemp and cannabis to keep it from being the good, wonderful miracle plant that it is. And we're going to talk a little bit about that. So I'm here to talk about the truth side.
Sure.
The truth.
Yep.
Because we've been lied to big time. And a plant this valuable to humanity needs to be understood and used in its proper form, whatever way it can benefit you. And
Sure.
we're here to help with that.
So, and then again, Ray Terry, uncle by marriage through the years, and known him a long time. He has his own radio show, been in radio a long time. He too shares the same passion, so that's why he's here. And you'll see, any of us, all of us throughout these episodes, might just be one of us one day, might be all of us, but ultimately we're just going to keep bringing these shows to you. To those that are watching, thank you. Hopefully our audience grows, but we're going to keep them coming regardless, and we're just going to put all the truthful information we know to be true out there, because we're all learning. A lot of these things we're looking for answers on too. A lot of this time we haven't been allowed to have the studies or to be able to use these products to see the benefits or the harms or whatever, which we have a pretty good idea at this point.
Yeah.
But ultimately we want to bring more and more truth to people, get people involved, and there'll be time once all this is posted and everything on YouTube and different social media platforms where you can give feedback and add questions or concerns or things you might want to know, because what's common knowledge to us might not be to you.
Or
So-
some of your own experiences and testimonials.
Absolutely,
That's
all of
typically.
that. We want to encompass all of it, and we plan on it. We got some good interviews set up. We got some people that this is literally a life or death situation for. We have some doctors that are going to give their piece on it, and we have people throughout the industry, lab technicians and doctors and people on the
Chemists,
processing side,
scientists.
chemists, everything. We're going to bring every part of this industry to you, because what's everyday work and everyday life for us, we found is fascinating for a lot of people, and honestly, it's still fascinating for us. But we want to bring to you guys what a little spot in our daily lives is to you guys. Every week, we're going to show you what it is we do, what it is we're learning, some of our trials and tribulations, fights we're still fighting. We're still fighting for the legalities of this, even after the 2018 Farm Bill. We're still fighting for a lot of,
Let's explain some of the fight.
Sure.
Folks, this looks like marijuana.
Sure.
Well, it does. But
all
it's hemp
cannabis.
flower.
Yeah.
This is not, it doesn't contain THC, isn't that correct?
It's
Well, it does, but very minimal.
Well, it's
federal
minimal.
amount.
Not enough to get
Right.
you high.
And
I
that's
agree.
and the problem that North Carolina and some other states are having is the law enforcement claims they can't tell the difference between what's known as hemp and what's known as marijuana, and they are correct. It is a lab test that ultimately can determine what is legal hemp and marijuana. Ultimately, there are options out there. They're just kind of being stubborn about exploring them. They're just trying.
Unfortunate overall is that it's not the people's problem; it's their problem.
Right.
And as a matter of fact,
The laws and
we're going to talk to the chemist
Yeah,
at
they're not
Wingate
supposed to
University.
make the law. They're just supposed to
Yeah.
enforce what the people want as the law,
Sure.
which we want hemp to be legal.
But I mean, smoking hemp is legal. That's my problem with this whole thing.
And they're trying to go backwards because
Trying
you're
to take it
taking,
away from
North
us.
Carolina
It's
is
federally legal.
literally trying to reclassify it and make it marijuana.
And go back to what we're
because
talking about.
because it
30s.
takes away probable cause. If they see this on your front seat, they say you have marijuana. It's not marijuana. Then they have to go through the testing. Listen, it's a quagmire. And they don't like taking away their traditional methods of enforcing our laws and taking away our freedoms, actually. And that's really what's happening, folks. They're taking away our damn freedoms,
Yeah.
and it pisses me off.
Yeah, because and when we talk about it, we'll go around. But basically, this hemp was included in the original prohibition of marijuana, cannabis. It is ultimately the same thing. But once the 2018 Farm Bill came around, and there was other bills that allowed pilot programs of this before the federal legalization. But since it's become federally legal, we're still fighting battles. And you want to talk about some of these, and this is one of them, a ban on smokable hemp flower is what they call it. But not every state's doing it. Some states are trying to ban it, but it's still federally legal. And states that have tried to ban it have ultimately lost. There's been lawsuits and everything else. So
Yeah, and Indiana set the precedent, really.
yeah,
Sued the
Well,
state and
let's
they
talk
won.
about the hemp flower. Some people say, why smoke it? You can't get high.
sure. And you know, it's funny. My wife Nikki says she can't get high from it. I'm a little jealous, but you know, ultimately it doesn't have the high. There's no psychoactive to it. There's 0.03% is the federal limit of THC, and CBD actually counteracts the effects of THC. So even the THC amounts there, CBD will bring the high down. So ultimately, the benefit of smoking it is everything that the oils and everything that you've heard it does, the anxiety relief, the pain relief, all that is still going to be prevalent when you smoke it. With the flower, it's just going to be a much faster relief. Now, with that being said, it
Let's
doesn't.
relieve some pain.
Yeah.
Let's fire that
Yeah,
up.
it
I was
doesn't.
gonna say,
It doesn't last as long. It gives you a quick relief, but it definitely does not last as long. Whereas a sublingual oil would last longer.
Yeah.
So
Takes
the
longer.
benefit of it is a much faster onset. It is much better for those suffering from anxiety when people are having anxiety attacks. So it's a much faster.
And I'm a bit anxious.
I'm a bit anxious.
Me
Let's
too.
see if we can help that.
Let's cure that anxiety.
But and, you know, there's no such thing really as a safe smoke, so to speak. But this is organic flower grown in the United States, and it's rolled in the raw paper here that is, you know,
Yay,
chemical.
raw.
Yeah, raw. We love raw, but it's chemical free. You know, it's no chemicals, no dyes, no whatever. It's earth friendly. They use only recyclable, sustainable packaging, and you know, there's a lot of things I love about the company. But it's if there is a safe way to smoke, this would be it. But it's a great relief.
Well, y'all opened the store. Let's go back a little bit. You opened the store. How'd that go?
Let's get back even before that. We opened a website.
Yeah.
Okay, you started the website first.
Well, yeah, because we couldn't find a place to rent us space to open a store at the time that we started, you know, exploring those options.
Yeah, we were the first shop in Charlotte, so we were really the first drug of reality that hemp was legal and that CBD products could even be sold around here. I mean, like Mike was saying, you know, we found out about everything in Wilmington, out towards the coast, and there was nothing like it here, nothing at all. So we got a hold of a commercial real estate broker and started to make calls and try to find space, and everybody basically told us to go to hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it's been a fight, I know, because I've kept up with you, and I'm grateful you did it, because y'all kind of set the standard, the bar, so to speak, here in Charlotte, and now Columbia, now Mooresville. You've grown quite a bit in a year, but what's been the result? What have you seen in the stores?
It's you know, the ultimate result is overall positive. One of the frustrating things in this industry, I think, and one of the things that's hurting the industry the most is lack of regulation and lack of we kind of need a gatekeeper. Right now it's kind of open to everyone, and at first I was like, the more the merrier, but then I'm realizing just how many people are kind of out there in it just trying to make a dollar.
Right.
It's like the Wild Wild West.
The intentions of everyone aren't the same as our intentions going into it, where we didn't know if we would, you know, make any money, if we would have one customer. Really, when we went into it, everyone, I feel like, saw our success and just how much people wanted to, you know, see what was going on, and that was a driving factor for them, not
Right.
Greed.
not necessarily their
Money.
passion
Yeah.
to.
No.
And one of the problems, yeah, and you know, if everybody did business like us, it would be differently. But what the disappointing part is, and what I'm seeing is people that are finally ready to give CBD a try, go and buy it from a gas station, or go and buy it from some little, you know, flea market or whatever.
Or cheapcbd.com.
Right.
They think
cheap
it's all
websites.
Right.
equal
And it's
because
not an
they
inexpensive
think that
product.
all CBD is CBD,
Right.
and across the board in general, it's, you know, the
And
same.
it simply is not. And
The point, all CBD oil.
It's not
It's
created
not-
equal.
Exactly.
That's
It-
right, dude.
It's not
Absolutely
created
not.
equal, and we're going to, and I want to make the point now, all Charlotte CBD's products are tested by a chemist lab for
G2
purity.
Analytical.
What's that?
Yeah, G2 Analytical. That's
Yeah,
what
G2 Analytical.
We actually
And-
created their company.
They're
and for them.
affiliates of Wingate University. They're, you know, head of their chemistry department there.
Yeah, we're going to do an interview with them coming up soon too, probably the next episode. So, but yeah, that's one thing we quickly found out when we started this is most of the products, what said is listed on the bottle was not actually what was in the bottle. And there's no regulation on that right now. And that's one of the biggest problems in this market, in this industry, is, you know, when we get this one try for people to try it and they try it and it does nothing for them or it makes them sick or something, that's it for most people. They won't try it again.
Yeah, throw their hands up.
So, you know, we really fight hard to get those people to give us another chance or CBD another chance, really. And, you know, there's no telling what's in a lot of these products. So we've taken that guesswork out of it for our company. And a lot of companies say they have things third-party tested, but they usually take in the paperwork that was given to them when they started buying it. And then they don't ask for it beyond that. But
Just like the main media.
right, every
doesn't tell
batch
us
is going
exactly what-
exactly.
And you
Every
have to
batch is
tell
going
us
to be
exactly what they want us to know.
100%. And every batch is different. Every plant is
They're
different.
testing, you know, some companies are just testing the initial input of isolate and saying that, you know, this is pure and it's good, but they're not testing the amount that's being put into
Or
the
for
actual
other
bottles.
impurities.
Right.
See, my anxiety is
Yeah.
gone already. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, I feel that.
I mean, touching on isolate, let's talk about the isolate broad spectrum, full spectrum.
Yeah.
You know, while we're at it, so people can kind of take the guesswork out of drug tests and whether or not you can, you know, mess with this stuff at all.
Yeah, because that is a big thing that people are failing their drug tests because they aren't aware of what they're actually putting in their body.
And that gives other
They
people that
think that they're
can't
just
fail drug tests.
taking CBD
Fear
when
of
it's a
taking
full
CBD.
spectrum and has THC and that makes you fail drug test.
All right, so just ask the question outright. Can you come in your store and buy CBD oil that's health beneficial without any THC in it?
Yes,
You can.
absolutely,
can.
yes.
Okay.
And that is
And
our first question asked to our customers. Do you have to pass a drug test?
Right.
We need to know that so we can tell you which oil is going to benefit you the most.
That's fair.
And THC, tetrahydrocannabidiol, is the
It's a big word.
it's the psychoactive molecule of cannabis, and it's the part that gets you high. However, again, the 0.03% allowed in our products will not get you high.
Which is sad considering they had to pass drug tests, which they're not high at work.
And
They
and
just
people
use
ask us,
therapeutic
like,
Drug
benefits
tests
of it.
and
Correct.
and people ask about the usage. If I use it only once or whatever, let me tell you, if you try it once, you have the possibility of failing a drug test if you have the THC present. So we take that very seriously, and we have everything tested to make sure if it says it's THC free, then it is. And so far, our testing's been okay with the products we carry.
Need to make a point here, though, folks. Everybody's different. Your chemistry, this is all science, and it's chemistry. And everybody's different. Now, what might affect Dan may not affect me the same way, and you know, all around the table and all around the world. Everyone's different. But you know, and CBD oil affects different people in different ways. But I've listened and talked to a lot of customers that come in the store because I'll just hang out and talk and listen. And it's just absolutely amazing the range of benefits that people are using CBD oil for, cannabidiol. So, you know, that's the whole purpose of these three folks right here. They're passionate about helping people. This isn't all about making the money. Yeah, we got to make the bucks, you know. Got to. It's just
We want to
give.
deserve it.
Yeah,
Right.
but we want you healthy in the process.
Right.
This is not about getting high. It's about getting healthy. And health is wealth. Because let me tell you, I'm getting old. And the older we get, the more things break. So we want to stay healthy. Well, CBD oil helps me. I've got no pain. Got all my original knees and hips. Wow, 68 years old. That ain't bad.
Right.
Take no pharmaceuticals, which I cannot stand.
Yeah.
It's a whole other show.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Yeah.
But at any rate, so.
And that's the thing, you know, as if you're anything like us, we read constantly. We are completely engulfed in this industry. This is our life. This isn't part of our life. This is our life. And there's a ton of stories out there. Just as many beneficial ones, there's just as many bad. And you really have to be careful of the sources and where they're coming from, because a healthy person puts a lot of these companies out of business. And there's a lot of propaganda going on still, trying to discredit some of these products. But I'm telling you, you don't need to be a scientist to see it. You know, we've been in business a short amount of time, but we we continuously see miracles happen all the time, and it's constant positive feedback. And
Well, let's talk about it. I mean,
Yeah,
people coming off opioids.
opioids. One lady, one of our customers started. She was 12, 13 different medications, and now she's on none. You know,
autism.
autism, ADHD. I mean, we work with everyone, and
Yeah, I've seen a ton of my,
You know,
I'm 34 and I've got
yeah.
friends with kids now, and they all have ADD or they're all on Adderall or.
Oh, good
whatever,
Lord,
which
it's
is-
horrible.
which is
Adderall,
bullshit.
yeah, they're on-
And on that note, I'm gonna throw this one in because I'm ADHD, and believe me, it's a gift. It's not a disorder at all. It's a gift. And when we've got to drug our kids to conform to a system of education, that's got to make you wonder: are you an idiot? Yeah, I said it. I mean, to drug your
all been
kids.
programmed to
So-
you know, and the doctors, you know, and that's the thing. The doctors prescribe these things, and I don't think that they mean harm.
No, they don't.
But they only know what they've been taught. And a lot of times, the people that are teaching these doctors are funded by pharmaceutical companies. So
Weird.
yeah, it's so weird.
Agenda.
So you know, that's what we're seeing there. But ultimately, I think for the most part, from my experience these last few years, doctors are waking up.
Oh yeah.
And we kind of know one personally that you know
You
is
will
gonna
see,
lead
you
the
will
charge.
meet Dr. Gerard Ferris
Right.
on this show, probably many times.
Jerry.
Dr.
Jerry
Danger.
Ferris is my dude.
Yeah.
Dr. Danger, yeah, that's
My
Well, you
doctor,
know,
Mark's
because
doctor.
we're just trying to bring as
Mine
much
too.
validity to this as we can,
I don't have a
because
doctor.
right, she's always healthy. But you know, because we ourselves experience these amazing health benefits from this plant. We also see it amongst our, you know, our employees as well as our customers. We take these products, we sell as well. That's what got us in this. Is we have these questions: what is CBD? Where do you get it? What's the
Yeah,
best
right.
one? What's the good one? You know,
What's a good way to take it?
what's a good way to take it? And that's what ultimately led us to this business. And we're still figuring out a lot of these questions ourselves.
Still
you know?
learning all the time.
Still learning. Every day is a learning process.
You know,
So,
I go in houses, I do home maintenance, remodeling, consulting, what have you. And I talk to a lot of homeowners and families, you know, all over constantly throughout the year. And what's amazing to me, and I'm a talker, you know, I love to talk, and I'll ask questions. And then I ask people about, do you take CBD oil? And they look at you and say, well, I've heard about it, but, and you hear all these different answers.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of
You know,
excuses too.
Yeah, but also, I've known some of these people to be my friends, you know, and I tell them, they do it, and you hear the stories. Like just last week, the guy that works for me, Steve Helms, he started taking it, and I was unaware that he was taking it twice a day. He's cut his gastro Pepsid or Nexium or something, doesn't do it anymore. And he's cut out other
His acid
medications.
reflux stuff.
What's
His
that?
acid reflux medicine.
the indigestion.
It works.
Oh,
It's amazing. I was amazed to hear it.
You remember the
Then
coffee
he
guy?
quit taking it
Adam?
completely.
Yeah.
From downtown?
Yeah.
He said he
amazing.
got it for his wife for anxiety, and he started taking it, and his gastro went away completely.
And that's the
He
thing.
said
I
he's
meing,
never, you know,
even
he
his sister
had like
checked
regular
with
bowel movements. and-
debilitating
30 years.
headaches. Your sister with debilitating headaches.
Yeah, Krista, yeah.
People that had,
absolutely.
you know, these debilitating migraines where
Migraines.
they couldn't leave the house and leave the room, and now they're headache free.
And
Not
she
even
did that once a month
Right.
since she was like 14 or something.
Yeah,
right,
yeah.
and now just completely headache free. So, you know, you don't need science to tell you that that's there, but we're going to bring you the science portion too. And
Now they
we're also going to be possibly teaming up with the same university that we teamed up with doing our lab testing
Yeah.
to start seeing interactions with pharmaceutical drugs. So that's something we're talking about working there, because we want to start getting these answers too. Right now, they tell us that don't really take CBD at the same time as you take drugs that can be affected by grapefruit.
Mhm.
Apparently, if it can be affected by grapefruit, it can be affected by CBD products. But what we were told, basically, don't take them within the same time frame. And of course, consult a
And
physician.
basically
We're
what
not
it does
physicians,
is just make maybe the medicine that you're taking not have any uptake anymore because
Right.
it's blocking a receptor
It
that
acts as
is
a blocker.
necessary
Yeah.
for
Yeah.
it's
Absorption.
already
Sure.
filled this block. So it's
And I think it's important too to keep reminding people again, we're not physicians. We're not saying this is a cure-all. We're not saying this fixes everything, but we're telling you what we see, and we'll welcome you to come check for yourself. But always have that conversation with your doctor or your physician if you feel like you really need that guidance, or if you're already having
Right.
medical issues. But the way I see it is my family and the way we weigh it is what do you got to lose, and the benefits far outweigh any kind of possibilities of things that could go wrong. And
It's natural.
Well, let's talk
natural.
about
Yeah.
why it does it. The
Sure.
endocannabinoid system. We hadn't hit on that, and
Sure.
that's the trigger. What did
Right,
you
because
say?
that's why everyone thinks that it is a cure-all, because it interacts with a system that basically controls your whole body.
All mammals on this planet have an endocannabinoid system. We being mammal, we have one. And it's been there forever, and they really just discovered it recently in history on the effects, and it's very important to our existence. It's plain.
Absolutely. It controls everything that goes on in our body. It connects our brain and our body. So all our functions are controlled by our endocannabinoid system, and it's,
Let's call it ECS.
okay, ECS.
Well, I know, but I wanted you to hear the words. If you've never heard the word endocannabinoid, cannabidiol is CBD oil, and but anyway, keep talking.
It regulates everything. It tells your body to do more things or less things when it needs to do less things. So without it, our bodies are not functioning like they should be, and we need to engage that system so that our brain can tell our body how to fix itself.
Yeah, keep the body optimal.
And that's how it makes a lot of things, go away or helps fix a lot of things, because it's making your body work like it should. And your body can fix itself. It's a powerful thing. It's
Right.
working right.
Yep, I just went through that with chronic hiccups, folks. I'm amazed I don't have the hiccups now, and I'm not. It's been something, but it's not the hiccup. It's what's causing the hiccups. But we'll talk about that another day. I'm amazed I sit here and talk to you now without hiccups. But I'm so glad. But speaking of the medical side, we're going to have a doctor or several doctors and chemists and scientists and people on the show to talk more about why and more research and why we haven't had it until now, but that's something about money. So where to now, guys?
Because touch on that. That's one thing we will admit openly is that we don't know everything.
Yeah.
But we want to know. Our thirst is just as strong as much as we know, because the more we find out, the more it wants you to know. Because, like you said, for 100 years now, we haven't had the ability. We haven't had the studies.
We've literally been forced to look the other way.
Sure.
It was illegal to do research on a Schedule I narcotic. And we're free?
Right.
Come on.
And then up until recently, even now, they're just now starting to allow these studies to be done.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And it really is amazing. And a lot of people don't realize, too, is this was part of our food supply for a long time as well. They fed it to livestock, and therefore when we ate, foods and stuff like that, we absorbed it that way. They also meats, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Some of us still eat those.
Yeah, we're going with diet changes.
Trying new things.
We're trying new things. But, it's all about growth and learning, because like I tell people, man, I'll be the first one at the front of the line if we go through all this and we do all these studies and it shows that it's bad for us. I'll be the first one to say, look, we made a mistake. We were wrong. But I don't think it's going to go that way. And honestly, the studies are now happening. And the doctor we're speaking of, he had an injury and treated the injury and the pain mostly with the cannabis plant and CBD. And he's writing a paper on that, actually, a professional doctor paper. I don't know what they're called, dissertation, something.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
Professional
Whatever.
Pull that one out of your ass.
Yeah. So he's gonna write one of them doctor things, but no, all of this is important because a lot of us already know this, but again, it's that validity piece of what we've known to be true and feel. It is true. And I'm one of the main ones. I used weed my whole life to get high, or cannabis my whole life to get high. And as I started hearing about the CBD and all the stuff it was doing for people, I'm like, whatever, I've done it my whole life, I would have felt these things. But not until I started actually ingesting CBD, which I learned, over the years that smoking this plant, whether it be hemp or marijuana, and eating it is
Yeah.
2 different effects completely.
Oh,
You know, so even like learning those things, it's
Well,
incredible.
That's part of the science
It's part of
behind
the
it,
science behind
that you'll learn more
And
about
that's
that.
really the difference of it being
Yeah.
processed through the liver or not. And, you know, THC then becomes tetrahydroeleven dicarboxylate, blah, blah, blah. Who knows what it, I don't know.
What's that word,
Decarboxylate.
Thank you. Good
That-
word.
and that's a process that has to take place to give you that high. And we'll explain that later. But, you know, ultimately that's, you know, we don't know everything about CBD. We don't know everything about hemp. We don't know everything about cannabis. And it all is ultimately the same thing. But that's why we're doing this. That's why we're doing the studies. That's why we're having the conversations. And that's why we're taking the feedback from
Now they can study
customers.
Well, bottom line, folks, we know for a fact, beyond a shadow of a doubt, it's very beneficial to health and wellness. And we've been lied to. We've been fucked with big time.
Yep.
George
One block.
Washington grew hemp
Yeah,
on
had
his
a hemp,
farm.
yeah.
He designated the most fertile, best plot
Yeah.
of land on his farm for hemp.
Exactly.
And
You-
we
you
took
have to
it
be
away.
required.
we're in a state that was requirement to grow hemp.
Yeah,
But
you
the plant,
had to.
But the plant is so beneficial. And here's what I'm gonna throw this fact out, which I know that I personally have seen it, witnessed it. It's a beneficial plant in so many ways. Okay.
Well, another thing we haven't even touched on is industry.
Yeah.
Paper,
Oh yeah.
wood,
We're gonna talk
concrete,
about the book in
hempcrete.
a minute. But I want to make the fact about pharmaceuticals. I've lived 67 years and I've watched many people die due to pharmaceutical drugs. More people die due to pharmaceutical drugs than everything else combined every day. But they don't talk about that in mainstream media because it's a big
Because the doctor said so.
moneymaker.
Yeah.
And the doctor knows only what he's been told and what he's been told to tell. And that's the way it's run, and doctors will tell you that.
Right, because the pharmaceutical industries are who started the universities of, you know,
Who
medicine.
pays for all the
The
medical studies?
Right.
Big
Exactly.
Pharma,
It's like-
and, the FDA.
Yeah.
Yeah, since they give us so much of a shit about us.
Yeah, the studies are dangerous. Studies can show whatever you want them to show.
And they do,
Yeah, yeah.
all in the name
propaganda.
of profit.
Sure.
And it's bullshit.
It's absolute bullshit. You know, and that's something that, you know, we talk about the current state of industry or whatever, and we were talking about earlier today in the meetings we have. It's 2 different industries really right now. And, you know, a lot of these studies and a lot of these headlines that come out really do this industry a true injustice and damage it.
Oh, good.
And,
Lord,
and a
yeah.
lot of these headlines talking about, you know, the vape crisis had nothing to do with the CBD industry or the legal cannabis industry. It was a very small portion of the black market THC industry, high THC
That's
industry.
already illegal, so
It's
banning
already
the
illegal.
illegal things.
Well,
I
yeah.
just
But, you know, with that fear, and of course, who wants to die from using anything?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So I don't blame people's fear, but we find out, you know, they don't come back and run another story saying, hey guys, we messed up,
Yes.
everything's okay.
Yeah.
You only hear the bad. So that these kind of stories, they damage the industry. But if you actually go beyond the headline and read it, you realize the facts are really not all that dangerous for people doing it the right way. You know, and even some of these stories about how dangerous CBD can be, they are correct. It can be dangerous if you do not know the source of where you're getting it from. But even then, a lot of other things in life are way more dangerous than even the bad CBD oil you're going to get. But again,
Who do you believe?
even
What do you
not even, you know, just our company, Charlotte CBD, but there are some great reputable companies out there, and there's very little, you know, effort to see the difference. And if you walk in the store, for sure, but online, you know, make sure there's current COAs available that match up. And
What's the COA?
yeah, a COA is a certificate of analysis. That it's a laboratory test done that tells exactly what's in, and it could be simple as the THC, CBD content. It could be as extravagant as herbicides, pesticides, microbials, things like that. So COA, and I'm trying to thank you for doing that. I'm trying to get better. As we speak this lingo that we throw at each other. We're used to
Well, we're
hearing
just
it.
getting started, so I want you guys to know what the hell a COA
Yeah,
is.
that's very important.
6 weeks down the road.
Yeah, thanks for doing that. And because we know this stuff, but again, we're still learning. And I didn't know this stuff even a couple years ago. It's crazy what you can learn even every day. But
You guys have been everywhere, really learning and learning more. Y'all
Oh,
at
yeah.
the West Coast swing out there.
Yeah, just
Saw
summer.
quite a few growing operations and how it was dealt with on the West Coast, where it's been legal a while.
Oh, we learned about genetics before people even knew what the hell they were out here.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, I've seen your posts and everything. Y'all really.
And I
have
think that's one of the
done
biggest questions I get too is people they think like basically CBD is just weed light. Like they take all these chemicals and throw it at weed and it becomes CBD. Like that, I think that's what a lot of people think. And ultimately, they got to understand that, you know, we're talking about hemp, cannabis, weed. It's all the same thing.
All the same.
It's just all, you know, through botany and genetics and things like that, altered to do different things, not by chemicals, more by like sunlight, exposure to other plants, other strains, nutrients,
pollination,
things like that. That's how they're kind of varying these things. But
one of the big benefits of this plant, and people need to be aware of this, it's a weed.
It's a weed.
It requires no insecticides, no spraying. It's totally beneficial to the planet. Unbelievable ways. Do research. Thinking real quick. Let's interject.
Smells nice.
You want to learn, Lindsay? What's this all about?
This is the Emperor Wears No Clothes. Jack Hare, he's the biggest advocate for hemp and cannabis. It's a great read about why they took hemp away, and it was kind of his way to spin legalizing marijuana to show that the cannabis plant in general had a lot of benefits for us as people and our country, and how they took it away. It used to be a requirement for everyone to grow hemp. Even after they took it away, the government required people to grow hemp during the war. It's a good book to tell you about the history of hemp and why they took it.
And he believes, and we believe, that literally this is the answer to saving the world. And as cheesy as that can sound, Dan touched on it, the industrial part. This is literally, if it can be done in petroleum and plastic, it can be created from hemp. And even more so, batteries, lithium batteries can be made from hemp.
New study.
All new things.
Yeah,
it can be, it's a fuel, it's a food, it's a building material. It's
Henry
fuel,
Ford.
paper, housing, inspiration, textiles, food, and oil. And literally, you can run your car off of this plant. Yeah,
It makes it powerful.
Yeah,
inspiration.
In 1941, not too many people realize in 1941, Henry Ford made a car completely made from hemp. The fabric on the seats, the bodies were made with hemp. And it's 10 times stronger and 12 times lighter than steel. I mean, that's unbelievable. We're talking about hemp plant.
And it's so frustrating, right, to know that you said 1941.
1941. And 37
and we're still
was
fighting
what was the Schedule I narcotic made.
And we're still fighting for it. And,
it's amazing.
You know, and it touches on every hot topic of today. You know, mental health issues, pollution problems, housing issues.
Hempcrete. And building materials and insulating. Everything. Unbelievable plant.
And we're going to bring you that. You know, right now, this show, Let's Be Blunt, is going to be kind of posted right here, but we hope to do some mobile
we're going to be
in the field stuff, start showing some of this. Because, you know, we see it. We want to show everybody else, but we're going to grassroots this thing. We want to educate people and show them what we know and what's true to be out there, because it's not in mainstream media right now.
Not to discount, because I've done a little bit of homework here. Let's Be Blunt. There's several other YouTube channels and what have you with the same name somewhat. And same content, same idea. And my point to that is, educate yourself. Don't believe everything you hear, but do believe facts. And you should be able to tell the difference. I know I can. So do the homework, do the research for your own health and well-being. And I appreciate you guys doing what y'all do.
We appreciate you helping us get the word out. But you know, people, and I speak for myself, and I think these guys are the same. It's that whole saying, you do what you love, you don't feel like you work a day in your life. And we work a lot of long hours, and it gets stressful. And when the business aspect gets into it, it gets rough. But, you know, ultimately the love for the plant is what I think keeps us all going.
Yeah.
Because it's a thrill like no other to see someone experience it for the first time. When people tell you their autistic child is now verbal, or that
Or
they're
no, giving people samples in the stores and a
Right.
shake stop.
right.
You know? I mean,
Oh yeah, I mean some people within,
Literally?
within moments.
Oh, yeah.
Some people.
Wow.
People
Yeah.
with Parkinson's.
I'm
I
amazed.
remember the first time that we ever really took it. You know what I mean? And how intense it was for all three of us.
Yeah.
Well, I know I used to have these anxiety attacks kind of in the morning because my
Felt
brain
good.
worked so much.
Yep.
And getting revved up to do, I don't know why it happens, but anyway,
It happens.
when I started taking CBD oil, it's amazing. I don't have them anymore now, but at first I would take a tincture under my tongue, lay down for about 5 minutes, and anxiety went away. It's amazing, you know. I think it's totally
Yeah,
beneficial.
so was that secret
Totally.
ingredient called fuck it?
And we're going to give you a lot more testimonials from people you can believe.
Yep.
Mhm.
And
And
you'll be
again,
amazed.
you guys listening, man, like shoot an email, write a comment below. You know, if you got a question, if you want to be on the show, if you got something you want to add, if you want to tell us we suck, that's cool too. We're open for all comments. At
Yeah.
least we know you watched. So
Shoot us a video.
shoot us
We'll
a
play
video.
it back on the damn podcast there.
Yeah.
We got our pads.
How much time we at there, producer?
About 40 minutes.
About 40 minutes. Yeah.
Well, we got to talk about the association. Not
Let's
only,
do it.
you know, to help drive the work. Hold on, I'm going to back up.
Right.
I've listened and paid attention. Our legislation, our lawmakers in North Carolina are a bit rural, and I'm being very nice here, a bit rural. And they believe in what they believe. And they're somewhat ignorant.
They're fucking redneck idiots. Let's be serious.
What did you say,
I said they're
Dave?
fucking redneck idiots.
Okay, there you go.
There's no doubt about
you
it.
know, I'm glad I pulled it out.
Fucking
Right.
But it's been
Stuff
a
for work,
struggle.
not smoke.
But they're waking up as well. Am I right or wrong on
Yeah.
that?
Yeah. And
You
then,
know, so just
I
so
love it,
people know,
bitch.
and how the Retailers Association is going to help with that.
sure. And you know, as we said in the beginning, we've fought for every bit of this from the beginning. It's a lot easier now for people with banking and all kind of things. But when we started this, it was not. And you know, once we now have all this in the legal aspect, North Carolina's still trying to come back and take some of it from us, aka smokable hemp flower ban and some other things too. The FDA is trying to do with edibles and things like that. We'll get into all that, but ultimately, what we
with the
learned,
USDA with smokable flower.
right? We learned ultimately that in Raleigh and across the United States, there's a lot of people making these decisions that know nothing about this plant or what they're even talking about, and it comes very apparent when you hear them speak, especially publicly, about this. You can tell very quickly that they don't really understand what they're talking. They're kind of talking about what they heard in passing, or they even kind of jump on this propaganda rhetoric that they've learned or been regurgitated to over
So
the
they've
years.
been taught that.
Yeah, they've been taught it. And a lot of them tie hemp into that whole reefer madness thing. You know, a couple.
But a lot of them also have kids that are fuck ups too. So
Right. So,
Yeah.
you know, a lot of them's like, you know,
they need this plant. They don't even realize
Right.
they're banning it from us.
and it's about education. And our first going up to Raleigh, you know, Dan and I going up there and going up to Raleigh first to see what this ban was about and to represent ourselves, we quickly realized there's not a lot of people up there speaking on our behalf. And there is, you know, the North Carolina Industrial Hemp Association. Blake Butler is a great representation of the industry and has done a great deal for our industry and fight for it. And thank you, Blake.
You're the man, Blake.
But you know, ultimately, he was representing mostly farmers and processors, and we have some retailers in there too. But I felt like we needed more of that retail representation, especially with the smokable hemp flower ban. Seemed to affect retailers more than it did the farmers. The farmers still could play in the smokable space, while ultimately retailers were out of it with the current ban. So, with all that
I mean,
being
sales
said,
are driven by this flower. I mean,
Right.
we sell a lot of flowers. So, I
Yes,
mean, if
flowers
they
Do you
take it
sell
away,
that? Do you sell that much?
A lot.
flowers probably our number one revenue source.
Wow.
And it's not by the people you think. It's not by the people that look like you or I or whoever the stoner looking people. I've been told I look like that. That's a good compliment. But it's people that you wouldn't think would smoke, you know,
Sure.
and even kind of closeted when they're in the store and they're a little apprehensive at first about buying it. But once they try it, they get it. And you can try all hemp in our stores, every location. We have, you know, apparatus, water pipes, bongs, if you will, right there where you can try pieces. We also have something called a volcano. It's a vaporizer. You can try it right there.
You can even do a dab.
You can do
So
it.
you can see
dab,
their products
all products.
online.
Every product we offer at our store, you can come in and try.
And you all, and it's online as well on CLTCBD.com.
CLTCBD.com. That's our website. We got a lot of information out there on the website. We got some blogs that's going to be going on there more too. We're going to be vlogging. There's going to be some smaller informational pieces coming from this. We're just going to throw the information out there to you guys and let you do with it.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, it'll be fun. We're going to learn together. Trust me. We're going to go to some places that I haven't even seen and learn about how some of the processes work in processing and things, because there's questions I still have. But other than that, man, we formed the Hemp Retailers Association to have a voice at the table when these laws and things start being made. And, you know, we're up in Raleigh quite often and we stay on top of everything, but it's ultimately that's what the Hemp Retailers Association is. We're going to collectively represent the retailers as well as best we can in the industry and for ourselves, and to fight for what's right and to keep this industry alive and to not kill it before it gets started. And a lot of these laws already have hindered it and really affected it when we should be going the other direction to help the farmer, to help the retailer, to help our customers get a safe product. So that's where we need to get this framework put in place, but we need to do it with a smart mind, with people that know what they're talking about, even people smarter than me that I want to bring to the table. So that's what Hemp Retailer Association is. Yeah, trust me, there's a lot of them
out there.
Yeah, tons. But ultimately, it's all about representation. And let's be honest, yes, this is for hemp we're fighting for now, but we collectively want full access, adult access, 18 and up, for cannabis plant of all sorts. You know, this is what we want for North Carolina. It's what we want for the United States.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going to talk about on the show too, because it's important. The Delta 9 THC portion, the part that gets you high, is very important in your health too. And studies have shown it's done some incredible things. And the doctor is going to tell you when we bring him on about what it's done for his pain relief as well. I'm gonna hit on that a minute.
Yeah. I'm ADHD, and I'm openly telling you I'm a pothead. Okay, I've been stoner since I was 21 years old, and I was amazed I didn't smoke it before then, but I did. Okay, but I'm ADHD, and it calms me down and it helps keep me focused. Now, granted, like I said, everybody's different. Everybody. Fortunately, some people lose their tools when they smoke high. Get high. See? No, but when they get high, they lose their tools and they can't keep up with what they're doing. I'm not one of those people. It helps me. So it's got tremendous benefits. But know the facts. Just know the facts. And be cautious. But if you look at the facts, and this is what tickles me, it's a no-brainer.
Well, the big fact
because
is
the facts are conclusive.
Nobody's ever died from it. That's a big fact. That's a big fact.
And
I always say just say no, but I spell it.
And alcohol.
Yes.
Everywhere you go, alcohol. And wherever and you've been a bouncer, both of you. It really is a crowd pleaser, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Makes people crazy. You get a bunch of stoners, they won't fight.
It's the worst drug out there is.
They won't fight.
For sure.
They won't fight.
And I can't tell you how, well, I'm sure I could tell you. There's so many times I've lit up a joint, even a hemp joint, in the middle of a crowd of drinkers or even cigarette smokers, and they give you the look of side eye, like, oh my God, I can't believe you're doing that. And I'm like, you're killing yourself. I'm just enjoying mine. So, it's all perspective, and that's what we're trying to do here. We're trying to normalize and show what's been missing for those that don't know. But yeah, so that's
and alcohol is the gateway drug. I'm just gonna put it out.
Oh, good Lord, you're exactly right.
Yeah, definitely.
Until the government wants to.
We have nothing to do with alcohol.
It's about money.
We're doing
Come
more
on.
drugs.
We ultimately know what it's all
Look,
about.
5 corporations, folks, if you don't know this, 5 corporations, mega corporations, I might add, international corporations, run the show. If you don't believe me, do the damn research. I have.
Most companies, most products you use every day are owned by very few companies.
Very few.
It's all
And the
spider
media,
web now.
the media is totally controlled, mass media, and you can't believe what they're telling you. They're telling you exactly what they want you to know. And you sheeple are just following the leader.
Right.
That's all you're doing. I'm sorry if that's harsh, but hey, it's the way it is.
Wake up.
Wake the hell up. Pull your head out your butts. Come on, let's do this. This is about true freedom. It really is. Peace, love. We got to spread the love and educate ourselves and know what's real. Because this plant here, miracle plant, God's gift to the planet, and it should be treated as such. Worship it. Yeah. Heal.
That's it.
Blunt. Let's wrap it up.
Keep it blunt.
Well, what's next? Let's talk about your stores a minute. 3
Real quick,
locations.
yep. You can find us. We got 3 physical locations. We got one in Mooresville, North Carolina, 505 East Statesville Avenue, and that's Mooresville, North Carolina. We got one Charlotte, North Carolina. That is the OG, the original. That is 2419 Central Avenue. And then we got Columbia, South Carolina, which is 610 Hardin Street. That's in 5 Points location. We can also be found cltcbd.com. We are also affiliated and tied in with the distribution company, The Plug Distribution, where we get all of our products from. You can find that at theplugdistribution.com for all of your CBD needs. For those looking to start their own product line,
Wholesalers, retailers,
wholesalers, or whatever. So that's where you can find us. We're always available in any of the stores. We got our business card sitting right there. Find us, shoot us a text here through the email. We'll try to get to folks, but thank you for listening.
Hey, great show, guys.
Yeah, thank you. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I like it.
It's a wrap.
Thank you.
Let's be blunt. More to come.
Let's
Stay
be blunt.
tuned, tune in,
All right.
and subscribe to the channel.
Nice.
Thanks, folks.